Welcome back to Trans Guy Reacts. My name is Nick, and I make videos about women's basketball, collegiate or professional. And I've been doing WNBA recaps. I'm gonna try to do as many as I can all season. I won't be able to do all the games, but I'm gonna do as many as I can. And today is Monday, May 20th, and I want to talk about the two games that happened today. Before I get into it, if you are a Caitlin Clark stan, not a fan, a stan who doesn't care about the rest of the WNBA, this channel is not for you. Go ahead and dislike this video so I don't come up in your feed anymore. I don't want you as a viewer. I am here for people who care about the WNBA as a whole and cares about all of the teams and all of the players and wants to know about the nuances and things like that. I am not here for the whiny new fans. I don't care about you. I think you're terrible and annoying. I have been a fan of the game for 20 plus years, so I care about the whole picture, okay? The whole thing. Anywho, so if you're into that, like, share, and subscribe. I don't allow comment sections because it's full of trolls that are Iowa Candace Clark fans. Caitlin Clark fans. And I don't care about you, and I don't care about your opinion, so there are no comment section. All right, so let's get into the first game of the night. First of all, very annoyed that both games were on at the same time. This is not new. The WNBA has done this for years, put on multiple games on at the same time. I try my best to watch both. I'll have multiple computers up. I'll have my phone up, trying to watch all the games because I'm a mega fan. So the first game was the Seattle Storm versus the New York Liberty. They were at home. It was a sellout crowd again. For this game, and because the New York Liberty has some really great fans in Brooklyn who are actual fans of the team, not just particular players, and so they had a really great turnout tonight. It was loud, it was raucous, there was a lot of people. Nneka Onwumike for the Seattle Storm was out because she rolled her ankle like 2 games ago, so she's been out, unfortunately, and that is going to be probably a big decider on them winning because she's not in the game. So the Liberty start off incredibly strong in the first quarter, as I thought they would, considering they played them already. There was this really huge block from Ezzy Magmavor against Jonquel Jones, and Jones looked pissed about it. She was not happy, but the game went on. It was fine. Liberty was controlling most of that first quarter. It was 15-27 at the end of the first quarter. Yikes. And then the Liberty continued to have control in the second quarter. Jonquel Jones was playing really well, but there was one point where Kayla Thornton got hit with this monster block, or no, not monster, sorry, monster screen. Just a typical screen, and by Ezzy McLevore, and she hit her so hard. She went down really, really hard. I think she got hit in the ear, but that's on her teammates for not calling out the screen. So it is what it is. At the half, it was 24-36. Liberty up. I was like, Liberty is winning this game. They're at home. They're already up. I don't see this changing. I mean, at the half, Benigni Hamilton had 8 points. Jonquel Jones had 10 points and 6 rebounds. On the flip side, for the Storm, Jewel Lloyd had 7.6 rebounds, and Skylar Dickens-Smith had 6 points. And that was where they were at that point. I did see some really strong play from Victoria Vivians. She was hitting threes, she was getting defensive stops, but ultimately New York was controlling that game. There was a really funny moment with the fan cam by Snapchat. That was pretty funny and wild because it was like doing all of these like AI anime pictures or like funny faces on the fans, and they did some of the fans dirty, I have to say, but it was hilarious. Really nice addition to engage with the fan base there. Really interesting to know, though, 3 minutes into the third quarter, Courtney Vandersloot gets her 4th foul, and the crowd was not happy about that, and she had to sit. So, but it was fine because the New York was controlling pretty well the game, so it didn't really matter. New York was just going off. It really were. And Sabrina was doing really well. She was driving in the lane. She was making threes. Kayla Thornton was playing well. It was definitely Liberty's game. At the end of the third, it was 46-60. Between the third and the fourth quarter, Ellie the Elephant, their mascot, was doing a performance, and that mascot is probably one of the best mascots in the league. It's really, really fun. It dances all the time. She's like on the floor, really hyping up the fans, and it's I would say one of the best mascots in the league. The other mascot that I like a lot is the Las Vegas Aces. That rabbit. That rabbit's pretty cool. Very, very cool style, slim rabbit. The slim mascots are the way to go. The real poofy, like bulbous mascots are just like kind of juvenile and not that interesting. And I really do love the slimmer. Not to be like sizes, but the slimmer mascots who can move more, much more interesting. So in that third quarter, the Storm are playing a little bit better. They even get the lead down to 11 points with 6 minutes to go, but the Liberty come roaring back and dominating, and they stay up and they're strong. And then at that point, towards the last like couple minutes, the Storm just have their bench players in the game so they can get some points, get some minutes, like kind of figure out stuff. And the final was 63-74, so 11-point difference overall. But there were some big gaps throughout the game. But they got it down to 11. And then the box score for this was Ezgi McLavore had 12 points, 5 rebounds. Jewel Lloyd had 13 points, 9 rebounds. She almost had a double-double. Sammy Whitcomb had 11 points, and both Mercedes Russell and Skylar Diggins-Smith had 8 points. On the New York Liberty side, Benijah Laney Hamilton had 13 points. Brianna Stewart had 16 points and 11 rebounds, double-double. John Cole Jones had 16 points and 8 rebounds, and Sabrina Unescu had 20 points and 8 rebounds. So they were just so dominant. It was crazy. It was awesome. Now, let's talk about the second game. So that was between the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever. We're at home for the Fever. They got a sellout crowd, of course, because, it's like Clark Fever thing, all these Iowa fans coming on over. It was actually quite a few children in the audience, which I appreciated that they were there because they wanted to be there, because in the past, and I hope they're not doing it this year, the WNBA will have camp days where they'll have small children from elementary schools come in and fill up the arena, like on a Tuesday game or something like that. And those games are so terrible. It is so disrespectful. The kids are so loud and annoying. The players can barely hear themselves. And it's not because the kids want to be there. They're just excited because they don't have to go to school. It's really like disrespectful, I feel, to the league. Hopefully they're not doing that anymore. They've learned from that. I don't know. We'll see. But this was nice to see, like, actual children who wanted to be there. Obviously, a lot of Caitlin Clark fans, because she's inspiring a lot of kids right now. The funny thing is that this game starts and Caitlin Clark gets a foul in 15 seconds of the game starting, and I'm just like, gosh, she's such a rookie, man, doing such rookie shit. It's really annoying, but she's fine. She's playing. She's doing her thing. Did I put her score? Oh, you know what? I did not do the score, the actual score for this game. I'm gonna have to do that as I'm talking through it. I forgot for the box score because I think that's really important. So anyway, she gets a foul in the very 15 seconds of the game. The Sun are starting off strong offensively and defensively, and they can't stop Alyssa Thomas. It's just, you can't stop her. Even with her 2 torn labrums in her shoulder, she is still the best player on the floor. When I did notice when Caitlin Clark got open, she can hit a 3. She's really good at the release. So if she gets open, in a split second, she can hit the 3, but she just did not have that many opportunities because she made a lot of mistakes again. And I think that she really needs to they need to develop that as a team, because it's the only way she can get easy shots. Otherwise, when she tries to drive to the basket, she's not as successful. She gets blocked a lot. It was a little annoying because Rebecca Lobo and Ryan Rucco were on the call, because they're always on the call for a Caitlin Clark game now. They're always on the call for important games, and I find them just boring. They've been on calls for like 10 plus years, and I'm just want someone else. And Holly Rose there, of course. They're fine. They're totally fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm just tired of seeing them. And the whole game, Ryan Rucco is constantly talking about Clark. It's highly annoying, but whatever. That's the fan base who's watching this game anyway. And to note, the New York Storm game was on like ESPN3, and this game was on ESPN. So just want to point that out, where the favoritism is there. Timmy Fag-Binley for the Fever was playing really strong. This British chick, she also went to Harvard, by the way, so she's smart. This British woman is like killing it. She was really, I say, the X factor for the team throughout the entire game. Other people had like runs at times, but Timmy was like consistent the entire time. But Fever kept fouling. They're just fouling all over the place. Such a young team. They're so young. That's the problem. What I did notice was that Kelsey Mitchell needs to touch the ball more. Last season, she was the leading scorer for the team, and she is the most consistent player on the team. They've also played together with her the most, right? And so there's this, I know they want to make the game kind of revolve around Clark, but she is not she don't know the game as well yet, right? She's adjusting pretty quickly, but she don't know it well. And so having to adjust around her makes the Fever worse. It really does. They play much better when she's not on the floor. So anyway, DeWanna Bonner gets her second foul at the end of the first quarter. I'm like, ooh, DeWanna, be careful. But the Fever were playing well at the end of the quarter and actually got the points down to a 1 point differential. To like 25-24, and I was like, oh, look at the Fever playing well. Okay. Even Wheeler gets them tied with her shot 26-26 at the end of the first quarter. I was like, all right. Fever are learning from their mistakes. I'm feeling it. They're doing it. But I did notice when Clark was on the bench, they played better. Like I said, they just have better chemistry on the floor when she's not there. they just plainly do. I think she needs to play less minutes. I think she should come off the floor, hit some shots, go sit down. When she's hot, and when she's not, take her ass off the floor. Embarrassing moment I feel for the Fever was that their new in-game announcer didn't know how to pronounce Victoria Saxton's name, called her Teria or something. I don't know what he said, but it was wrong, and it was very disappointing to see. Let's see. Let me see. And then at the Fever actually got the lead. They got the lead at the end of the second quarter, at the end of the second quarter, it was 27-29. I was like, whoa, Fever might win this game. All right. But then Clark goes down with the leg injury at 5 minutes left. It looks like she twisted her ankle on herself. She like misstepped when she was going for a drive and like twisted her ankle. She was basically like crying as she left the floor. She is so dramatic. She's like, it's like, girl, just calm down. It's not cute. She does not have a good like emotional face, and it can make for some really funny like memes if she doesn't. She needs to stop that. And she was pissed. She was so mad when she was going off the court. But they taped her up. She was fine. She came back. Dejanay Carrington had a great behind the back pass to Alyssa Thomas, but Boston ended up fouling Thomas, so she couldn't complete the pass. But it was pretty. I would have loved for that to be completed, but it is what it is. And then on the opposite end, Carrington comes down the lane and blocks the hell out of Wheeler. Oh my God, Erica Wheeler, she like knocked that shit out of here. It was a beautiful sight. Clark is back on the bench after a few minutes. It looks like she's ready to come back on the floor. But like I said, when she is off the floor, the Fever were playing better. They were making their shots. They have much better chemistry when she is not on the floor. And then at the end of the second quarter, it was towards the end, it was like 2 minutes left in the second quarter. It was 41-40. So the Sun were up 1 point, and there was a break at that point. A little on the floor timeout or something, and the Indiana Fever arena was playing too short. And I just thought that was a little inappropriate. Even if you're blocking out the word bitch, it's just that ain't the vibe for Indiana. That's just really strange to me. I don't know, especially with all the kids in there. It was very, very weird. But anyway, back to the game. Melissa Smith got hit in the face by Olivia Nelson-Adoda going after the ball, but there was no call. I thought that was interesting, and it took Melissa to get back a minute to get back, because she was she got hit in the face. It was a hard hit, but Olivia was going for the ball. So what can you do? Kelsey Mitchell was very consistent. She kept killing it on the glass, driving to the lane, doing her thing. At the end, the Fever got back up. It was 41-44 at the half, and Clark wasn't on the floor. Interesting. At the half, you had Melissa Smith with 10 points, 5 rebounds, Kelsey Mitchell with 12 points, and Caitlin Clark with 8 points. And for the Sun, it was Alyssa Thomas with 14 points, 9 rebounds. She almost had a double-double at the half. That's crazy. Brianna Jones with 8 points. Far better scoring from the Fever, but the Sun were more dominant. Halftime show was this multi-age jump rope crew, which I thought was kind of cute. I mean, they were just they're huge jump rope, and they're all doing tricks. That was cute, whatever. Okay, so you get into the third quarter. Caitlin Clark is back on the floor. There's a point where Aaliyah Boston and Alyssa Thomas get tied up, and they kind of get into it after Boston blocks Alyssa's ball, and some words were exchanged, and it looked like, from my perspective, They got a little tied up, and Alyssa got pissed and like swung her arm off. And Boston is not taking shit anymore. She's just like, no, you ain't gonna push me, you know. And then Boston was like pleading her case, like, I'm going after the ball. And so you can tell, like, Boston's not a fighter. She is not an aggressive player at all. But when she goes against some aggressive players, they get so mad when she gets like good fouls or blocks on them. They get very upset. But Boston ain't a fighter. She a lover. She ain't a fighter. With 8 minutes left in the third quarter, it was 49-44. But then Timmy Fakbenley really started making plays. She was bringing the energy. She's like such a great addition to the team. I talked about her a little bit earlier. Like Timmy was going off. She is fantastic. Clark is driving to the lane, getting blocked, and she's not ready for the physicality of the league yet. She needs some time to like grow some more muscles. But whenever she drives, she sometimes gets the shot off, but most of the time she's getting blocked. And at that point, I looked at her plus minus. When she was on the floor, it was -22 for the game. So she is not the most effective player on the floor. I'll just say that. She's good at hitting her shots, but she does mess up the flow of the game. At the end of the third, it was 64-61. The Sun were up. And then now in the third quarter, both teams were starting to trade baskets, which I don't love. They're just like going back and forth. But there was a really good pick and roll action from Caitlin Clark to Aaliyah Boston, and that's what we want to see. I'm waiting for that to develop a little bit more. They just need more time and chemistry to gel. But that's what people really want to see, is that connection there. But like I said, I think Kelsey Mitchell needs to be on the floor at the same time when that's happening. And then Clark was a much better passer in this game, I would say, for sure. Then with 6 minutes left this is the fourth quarter, it was 68-72. So Fever are doing great. They're up. I'm like, oh, look at this. Fever might not upset. It's a home game. They might actually win this game. But the Sun take a timeout because they're like, all right, Fever going on a run. Let's not do this. Then they get back into the game, and Erica Wheeler hits Dejanay Carrington with a hard-moving screen. And Caitlin Clark is going for a 3-shot. She gets it, but because of the hard-moving screen, it doesn't count, and Wheeler gets the foul. It is what it is. Timmy is going off again. Like I said, she's like the X factor for this team. She was just doing a great job. Then there was this series of things that happened that I'm like, this is Caitlin Clark being rookie. She's doing rookie shit, and it's annoying. And these are the times where I'm like, she needs to be taken off. This is why she needs to be taken off the floor more often. She is really good in short stints, but then when she gets upset, she makes really bad mistakes. So Caitlin Clark does not have the strength to go against Alyssa Thomas, and every time they go at each other, Alyssa Thomas wins. So Alyssa Thomas steals the ball from Clark, and then immediately right after, Clark fouls Thomas in frustration, because that's what she does. Then Thomas again steals the ball from Clark, and then throws the ball to Ty Harris, and then Clark fouls Harris. It's a take foul, so there's going to be free throws because of it. And immediately after that happens, she is upset, and she says something crazy to the ref, and immediately the ref gives her a technical foul. She is the one that's ruining the chances for her team to win the game because of her emotions. She gets really fiery, and she doesn't know how to control her emotions. And like, that stuff's not going to work here. Even in NCAA, she would get technical fouls. But it's like, yeah, you ain't going to get away with that in the pros? Girl, you need to control yourself. It's ridiculous. And this is her 5th foul, by the way. This is her 5th fucking foul. Whew. I think she needs to be taken off the floor. I think her defense is trash. But Christy Sides, the coach, keeps her on the floor for some reason, I guess. Then there's a moment where Aaliyah Boston and Brianna Jones are fighting for the ball. It leads to a jump shot. Then the game is tied 82-82 with 1 minute left. This is some crazy shit. I was like, okay, we're tied. We're going back and forth. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be interesting. My nose is super itchy. This always happens when I record. My body is like, oh, you're recording? Let me give you all the allergies right now. Itchiness. All right. So Clark is put on the bench with that last minute to go, which I think is the right call. There's a lot of physicality on the play for DeWanna Bonner, but they get the lead 84-82, 41 seconds left. Then Aaliyah Boston, my nose. Then Aaliyah Boston ties the game 84-84 with 29 seconds left. Then Timmy Fagbinley, who's been playing so good all game, gets an offensive foul against Ty Harris, and the Sun are in the bonus. 11 seconds left. Christy Sides challenges the call. She does not win it. The call is confirmed. The Sun make their free throws. It's 86-84. Clark comes back in the game. Aaliyah Boston misses a layup. Then Alyssa Thomas is fouled with 5 seconds left and hits both of those. The final is 88-84. The Sun win. So to me, that is just clear. The veterans can always pull it out. There's a lot of like small mistakes, big mistakes that were made by the Indiana Fever, and that's why they lost the game. So it's just they gotta learn. They're not gonna win their first few games. Everyone is predicting they're gonna go 0-8 for the first few games, and I think that's true. Let's talk about. I'll talk about the Sun first in terms of like the box breakdown. So DeWanna Bonner had 22 points. Wow. Alyssa Thomas had 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 9 assists. She almost had a triple-double. She had a double-double, almost had a triple-double. Alyssa Thomas is a queen. She is amazing. Breonna Jones had 8 points. DJ Carrington had 14.6 rebounds. Ty Harris had 16 points. And the rest of the team didn't really score that much. No one else on the team scored. Olivia Nessa-Ndota was on the floor. Tiffany Mitchell was on the floor. Mariah Jefferson was on the floor. Astu Dora DeFall was on the floor. But they did. Oh, Mariah and Astu had 2 points each. Excuse me. But Rachel Bannum and Queen Egbo did not play in the game. For the Fever, let's look at this. Katie Lou Samuelson had 2 points, which is not going to work. Katie Lou, we need her to be that threat on the three, and she just was not delivering. Nalissa Smith had 13 points and 6 rebounds, 1 block. Aaliyah Boston had 10 points, 3 blocks, 8 rebounds, so not too bad. Kelsey Mitchell had 17 points, 5 assists. Caitlin Clark had 17 points as well, but she had 5 assists, she had 5 turnovers, and she had 5 fouls. So, yeah. And then Timmy Fagbinley had 11 points and 10 rebounds. She had a double-double, the only player on the team to have a double-double. Christy Wallace had 8 points. Erica Wheeler had 6 points and 5 rebounds, kind of surprising. I'm kind of shocked by that. And then here's the thing. Grace Berger, Lexi Hull, Victoria Sexton, and Celeste Taylor did not play at all. I don't know. I don't love that. I really do feel like Grace Berger needs to be playing in these games. Lexi Hull needs to be playing in these games. You can't win with this setup. It's just not working, clearly. But this is the coach's decision, so it is what it is. And then looking at the floor of Katie Lou Samuelson, Aaliyah Boston, and Caitlin Clark had a negative plus-minus when they were on the floor. So I forgive Katie. She wasn't on the floor that much. She was only on the floor for 15 minutes. But Leah Boston and Caitlin Clark were both on the floor for about 30 minutes, and they had like double-digit negatives. Leah Boston with 20 points and Caitlin Clark with 18. I really don't think that Caitlin Clark should be on the floor as much as she is. I think she's good in spurts. Like, literally put her on the floor for like 2 minutes, take her off for a minute, bring her back on for 2 minutes, take her off. Because when she's in the game for too long, she starts to make mistakes, and she starts doing rookie shit, and it's terrible. So yeah, that was the game. That was the conclusion of it. Fever losing again, continue to lose. Liberty winning, continued to win, just killing it out there, and it's been exciting. I love women's basketball. I am such a fan. I love it. Anyway, if you like this type of content, please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. I do not have the comment section on. I don't care about your opinion. If you want to make videos, you care about sharing your opinion about the W, make your own channel. I would love to see it. I want to see more people making content about the W. Please make your own stuff. But don't be leaving negative, passive-aggressive comments on other people's channels. It's like so unnecessary. Anyway, love y'all. See y'all. Check you in the next one.